Today is 878 day to come here to lessons to learn. I'm learning how to support your dreams, your goals online to become the person that you want to become. Today I'll speak about contradictions, about the balance between those contradictions, because those contradictions that we are living every single day will dictate how well we live our lives. And what kind of contradictions do I speak about? Because sometimes we need to choose between two amazing truths, and we need to balance. So one day we choose one side, other day we swing to other side. But being able to really balance both of them, both truths at the same time, because when you're able to really take one truth and other truth that is contradicting from both sides and put in your life that works on a daily basis as a balance, I think that's when you really start to see how beautiful life could be. Because I think that every single person needs to work very hard on things that doesn't fit together and try to fit them together. So today we'll share 15 things in life that is contradictory, but at the same time, when you're able to balance that and put them in one thing in your day, of course that's when you really get massive results. So first one is just very, very similar. So that means that is independence and interdependence. So being able to have and understand that you're able to do a lot of things by yourself, but at the same time working very hard to get support as much as you need from other people. So knowing that you just need yourself to really start and moving forward, but you always need support, mentors, guides, coaches that you could elevate you to the next level. Because a lot of times people look for approval, for validation, and they're looking too much for interdependence. And some people just do everything by themselves and they are slowed down because of that. So being able to really bring them together and say, like, I believe that I could do whatever I want, but at the same time, I always have mentors, guys, coaches who could coach me to be the independent person. That's a truly believe that's one of the best ways to really find the balance. Number two is stability and change. That means that a lot of times we really seek security, seek that stability. But I think that one of the best things that really gives us stability, gives that security, is constant change. Constant change, improving, get better, and that change creates stability and security. Because if you are not changing, world around you is changing, you want it or not. So if you really want security and stability, I truly believe that you're supposed to learn how to change constantly by seeking stability. Again, like change and stability, security seems like a lot of times in different corners, but we're able to blend it by really changing that we could get stability and security. Number three is individuality and belonging. So that means at the same time valuing your own uniqueness. You have, like, every single person is unique and special. Every single person is unique and special, but at the same time being able to belong to community is very, very important, because a lot of times people say, like, oh, it's very valued to be individualistic. And I think that now we live in life in times that people really value individual. But I think that I don't see as much people value belonging to community, belonging to the vision, because I think that we're supposed to be able to belong to a massive group, a massive community, but at the same time, every single member is unique, special, and needed. I think that that's when community is growing beautifully, when they understand that I belong here, I belong in this community, but I belong because I am authentic and I share my own strengths and beliefs, and I add to the community, not because I want to be by myself and I don't care about the people, because I care about other people. I want to show my authentic, true me, that I could inspire other people to show true themselves as well. Number four is optimism and realism. That means that to be able to really look into optimistic view of life and be realistic at the same time. A lot of times people say, like, oh, I'm just a realist. Who decided you're a realist? Your opinion is that you're a realist. Because, again, people say, like, I'm negative, I'm optimist, I'm pessimist. And again, this definition is based on your own opinion. There's no facts. There's no facts at all. Like, here's optimist because look into the this fact is, and this is optimist. No, everything is based on opinion, and we're not supposed to say that argue about opinions, because I think that is the most ridiculous thing is to argue about opinions. And we need to understand that optimism and realism supposed to be always in together. So that means even though that I see realistically what potentially could happen, I want to make sure that I put optimism in that story. Even though that might be that realistically is not that good, but I hope that even though there is 5% of chance, I will take those 5% chance with all my heart. I don't look at those 95%. I look at those 5%. I agree. That's 95% chance. And if I lose, I lose. But if there's a 1% chance, I will take it. Because that's very important. I think truly believe that you need to blend realism with optimism. And I think that life becomes much more beautiful. Number 5 is freedom and responsibility. That means that we need to understand that every single person has rights and responsibilities. Now, if everyone's like, "Oh, I have my freedom, I have my right," but who speaks that this is my responsibility? Nobody is speaking aloud. It's speaking. There's a lot of people who speak, but they are not as loud because most people now speak like, "Oh, this is my freedom, this is my right, this is." But let's start to speak about responsibilities, and I think that being able to brand freedoms and responsibilities at the same time, again, life becomes so much more beautiful because you actually are enjoying your freedoms and taking care of accountability, responsibility of things that we need to take care of. It's very, very important to understand that there is a lot of obligations. There's a lot of obligations and responsibilities to have that freedom. Freedom is not free. Freedom is never free. You will need to be accountable for that, and you will be responsible for that, and will need to take a lot of things and take actions and pay the price for the freedom. Number 6 is self-care and altruism. So that means that a lot of times people are altruistic and they don't take care of themselves because they give and give and give, and other people don't give at all. And we always need to say, okay, so number one thing, I need to really have my full cup. I need to have my cup full. Because if you have empty cup, you're not able to pour anything out of it. So that means self-care is essential. And sometimes taking care of yourself is the most altruistic thing that you can do. Because if you really want to add massive value to people, that means you need to be the best version of you. If you want to add massive value to people, you need to be the best version of you. So that means the most altruistic thing that you could do is to develop yourself, grow yourself, improve yourself. And at that moment, you're able to give more. Because if you don't have anything to give, you're not able to be altruistic as you would love to be. And I guess helping out people is really massive fulfillment. Number 7 is vulnerability and strength. This is very, very powerful. People say that vulnerability is important because only when you're really strong, you're able to be vulnerable. Only when you are really strong, you're vulnerable. Only people who are not afraid to be judged, who are not afraid to be rejected, people who really know that only when they will be vulnerable, when they share that I don't understand this, I'm struggling, I need to figure this out. Just could you help me out? Ask for help. And really, only people who share their struggles, other people will jump in and support and help. And that is so massive strength that you're able to open up and share. Because when you share, people come and help. You have ability to be very, very strong on other parts. So you are vulnerable on your weaknesses and you're strong on your strengths. Because when you're strong on your strengths, you're able to support other people who are struggling. So vulnerable on your weaknesses and strong on your strengths. Because if you are vulnerable on your strengths, like there's nothing that's vulnerable around that. Number 8 is acceptance and ambition. That means that we're able to accept where we are, but at the same time, always strive for better. Accept where we are, but always strive for better. This is very powerful. Because a lot of times people say that you always need to be dissatisfied with your position. No, you're supposed to be accepting, content with your position, but you always strive for better. Actually, that is one of the best way to live because if you're dissatisfied about your life, that means that potentially you will live all your life dissatisfied with your life. And do you want to be dissatisfied all your life, unfulfilled with all your life about all the things that you do? No, I don't think so. So that means we need to be content with what we have, but always strive for better. And that's why always acceptance and ambition always work together as well, even though there's other sides. Number 9 is solitude and connection. That means that we always need to balance that as well. This is very, 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 very important balance. And this again, depends on personal, because some people love solitude a little bit more and a little bit less connection, and some people want maximum connection and a little bit less solitude. And again, you need to understand what kind of person are you, what really energizes you, and how much of solitude and connection do you need to really live the best fulfilling life. Because I'm a 50-50 person. I love small groups, to chat, deep conversations. I love nature, reading books. But if I just read books, my energy depletes. And if I just speak with people, my energy depletes as well. So that means when I balance those together and it's 50-50, at that moment my energy grows in tremendous levels. So for me, knowing that how I need to manage my time to make sure that I have my energy levels high is very important. And every single person is supposed to understand how they need to manage their connection and solitude at the same time. Number 10 is routine and doing things that you able to really be spontaneous. That means that routines are great, habits are great, but sometimes you need to have that adventure, something new, something explore. Because when you explore and when you're going after adventure, sometimes you feel that you are living that something that brings some emotions that you never felt before, experience you never felt before. I think that this adventure is very, very important. But at the same time, routines, habits, you'll know that when you have routines and habits in place, you trust yourself. It builds massive confidence. You are happy with yourself. It's fulfilling. Because when you do not have routines in place, when you don't have habits, sometimes you lack clarity and it seems that you're doing a lot of things, but you just do not know where you're going. So both of them are very important. Being able to really put those together, routine and adventure at the same time, is very, very important in every single person's life. And if you sometimes, maybe you feel that you're lacking something, sometimes it's just, maybe you always adventurous. Maybe you need to go back and do really some routines, or maybe always routines. And maybe one last time you did something for the first time. Maybe you always go to the same street. Maybe you're able to go to a different block that you've never been. Like small things could really change and really allow you to be more adventurous. Number 11 is forgiving and boundaries. That means that we need to learn how to really practice compassion, forgiveness. At the same time, really massively build boundaries and explain those boundaries very, very clearly to other people. That's like, they say, like, this is what I care about, and this is what I accept, this is not what I accept, this is what I tolerate, this is not what I tolerate, this is what I love, this is what I don't love. People will not be able to follow your boundaries if you do not communicate your boundaries. Because a lot of times people feel really disappointed when people step on their boundaries. And first question we need to ask, did we make them aware that I have boundaries? Because I didn't mistake, like I expected them to know how they're supposed to treat me. Like how is supposed to, they're not mind readers. I need to communicate how I want to be treated. And when you are explaining and when they are, and then you communicate that what needs to be done, then of course you're able to expect the boundaries. And at the same time, we need to be able to really forgive at the same time. Forgive for the things that they maybe they was not able and falling short. Number 12 is emotion and logic. This is very, very important as well, because when we make sales, when we buy something, a lot of time, like, we buy based on logic. But 99% of our purchases are emotionally based. And when we rationalize logically, and a lot of things what we do is we always think that we are logically oriented, but a lot of times we just put emotion and then around it we surround with the logic, even though the core is emotion, but surrounding is logic. And I sometimes believe that we made a decision based on logic because that's how it looks like from the outside in. But most decisions are made inside out, and inside out is that inside was emotion, not logic. So knowing that how you really make decisions and really be aware what kind of emotion really led to their decision, because when you really believe that you made a decision based on logic, you always rationalize it. But when you start to believe and you understand that you made a decision on emotion, then you start being aware and start to catch yourself. So what kind of emotion led me to make this decision? What kind of emotion led me to make this decision? Because at that moment, you know that because I made a decision based on emotion, did they follow the right emotion? Because it might be that you made a decision based on fear. Maybe you made a decision based on doubt or some shame, guilt. Because those emotions could stop you from making a right choice. It's very, very important to understand that you make decisions on emotion. And because of that, we need to understand, catch what emotion you were feeling when you're making the decision. Because otherwise you will regret. Number 13 is gratitude and ambition. Gratitude and ambition. Being grateful is very, very, very important. So it means really that's striving for more. Again, this is like acceptance and ambition. I say almost the same thing, but like being grateful every single day, all counting blessings, and then say that, okay, even though I have so many blessings, there is so much more to get. Because the more you appreciate, the more the things that you appreciate. So when you appreciate, things appreciate. So we need to understand that the more grateful you are, the more you will get things to be grateful for. So that's why I truly believe when you gratitude and ambition always supposed to be together, because the more you're grateful, the more ambitious you can become. Number 14 is presence and planning. This is essential as well, because a lot of times people live in the future or maybe in the past, but they're not able to live presently, because we need to ask, like, okay, what I'm doing now to achieve my future? What I'm doing now to achieve my future? This is one of the essential questions that every single person needs to ask themselves, because if you don't ask a question, you're constantly living in the future without taking any action, and the future never comes any closer. So always, when you think about the future, the question that we need to ask is, what I'm doing now to become the person that I want to become? What I need to do now to really achieve my goals? And at that moment, you know, when we're able to look into planning and being present at the same time. Because when you're able to be present, that improves your friendships, improves your mindfulness, improves so many things when you're able to be fully present today and enjoy the life more, because you start to see flowers, you start to see clouds, you start to see stars, everything in between. Because if you do not live presently, you miss everything what's going on around you right now. And last one is independence and support. Again, this is very, very important. Really valuing independence and self-reliance, but at the same time, always looking for help. Always looking for help. I didn't mention that at the beginning, but that I truly believe that this is very important. Like independence and interdependence. This is very important as well, because we need to find people who could really help us to achieve our goal. And I think that this is one of the key parts, because the more I become older and the more I have perspective, the more I value other people's time, the more I value other people's wisdom, the more I value other people's expertise, because it takes time to get good at something. It takes time to build expertise. It takes time to build wisdom. So being able to really shortcut that time and ask those people who are ready to put the time to really, and the resources to elevate themselves in the skill set, in wisdom and knowledge. And now you're able to shortcut that and ask the person to help you to build that skills much, much faster. It's a massive value. So we always need to say, okay, I could do it independently. You are strong. Yeah, like every single person is strong. And you might be that, maybe even stronger than anybody else. But it's really, it shows strength when you're able to ask for support. And I think that when you really understand that independence is the highest level of independence is when you independently reaching out for help, when you don't wait until someone else reach out and will support you and say, like, I want to help you. No, you need to be independently saying, I need help, I need support, I want your help to make my skills better, I want your support to make my life better. And I truly believe that when you're able to be really independent in the highest possible way, I think that's where the life becomes so much more beautiful, because there's so much more to see in life when you're able to expand or even make it faster. So I hope that you reflect as well on contradictions in life, how to put those. Maybe you can find even more contradictions. There's of course not all this. There's like there's much more. So what kind of contradictions do you see in life? And you said like, there's this one or this one. How you can potentially put them in one sentence, in one day, in one life, to make sure that you can take advantage of both things at the same time. So I hope you will choose to win and see you tomorrow.